I'm Charles Kuralt, and this is Sunday Morning. It is the last Sunday of the 70s. We have no bells to ring, no Roman candles. There's been enough of sound and fury already this year. Better, we thought, to be still now and listen to the echoes. That's what Richard Threlkeld will do in our cover story, covering 1979.
We spent this last week right here at home, thumbing back through the calendar, looking through the sights and sounds of Sunday mornings gone by, trying to find a portrait of America this last year. What we found is a picture much bigger than the sum of its separate parts, and we'll show it to you in just a few minutes.
A man named James Vardaman spent his whole year trying to see with his own eyes and positively identify 700 different American birds. It's America, remember, whatever makes you happy. David Dick tells the story of Super Birder. A man named Bill Fitch, who once coached the worst team in pro basketball, now coaches the best. He is the Celtic chieftain, and his ups and downs make a good yarn for Haywood Hale Broun. This is America we're listening to, our own voices, and they come in accents as different as black and white. Black English is a dialect Marlene Sanders has been hearing lately.
When Walter Cronkite signs off at night, he says, "And that's the way it is." If he were using black English, he might say, "It be's that way sometime." The acknowledgement that there is such a thing as black English or black dialect is the source of an ongoing educational controversy. Some schools have created special programs using a knowledge of black English to teach standard English, and a lot of people are up in arms. And now even the government is involved. What's it all about? We'll take a look later on Sunday Morning.
Listening to the echoes of the fading year. Just at the end of the year, there has come a new sound, the sound of Russian boots in the byways of Afghanistan and the crack of Russian rifles. Liz Trotta in neighboring Iran and Marvin Kalb at the State Department will talk with me later about what those new sounds mean for Afghanistan, for Iran, and for the United States. Ray Brady on the economy, Jeff Greenfield on television, and we'll send the 70s on their way. It's not really the end of anything, of course, nor is it a beginning. It's just a going on, as can be seen from the news headlines for Sunday morning, the 30th of December, 1979. There are reports of fierce fighting in Afghanistan between Soviet and Afghan troops on one hand and Islamic rebels on the other. The rebels reportedly have been pushed out of one province on the Soviet-Afghan border. Last night, Secretary of State Vance appealed to the UN Security Council for support for an American resolution imposing economic sanctions against Iran. The reaction has been mixed. UN Secretary General Kurt Waldheim may go to Tehran to try to win the release of the hostages. He may not. The militants occupying the American embassy say they will not accept Waldheim as a mediator.
In a few moments, we'll look back at the final week of this trouble.
Birds are a rapture and a dream. To devoted bird watchers, they also are a passion. To one devoted bird watcher in particular, they are also a statistic. James Vardaman has seen more American birds in 1 year than any other person. That is not enough for James Vardaman. He wants to see more American birds in 1 year than even he has seen. He wants to see an even 700. And he has spent his whole year and more than $35,000 in pursuit of this magic winged number. David Dick offers us a study in obsession, a man who during every waking hour of 1979 has said to himself, 700, 700.
His thoughts are up and far away from the everyday demands of being president of this Jackson, Mississippi corporation. James M. Vardaman and Company, forest management specialists. 58-year-old James Vardaman's preoccupation, his energy, his incessant telephoning these days mainly involve his obsession, bird watching.
Right, he's in the bird department. My name is Vardaman, V as in Victor, A-R-D-A-M-A-N.
Okay.
He's the grandson of one of Mississippi's most well-known early 20th century racists, Governor James K. Vardaman. But the grandson has neither time nor philosophical appetite for any of that. His passion is watching birds, and the heights of that lifelong hobby can be measured by the goal he has set for himself, to see 700 different species of North American birds in 1 year. July 27th, 1979, 11:30 in the morning, Vardaman breaks the old one-year record. The place, the south side of Chicago.
There you go. Right there. Hot damn, look at that.
The bird, the American woodcock, number 658 for the man who will go just about anywhere, anytime to add one more bird to his list. December 1st, 1979, 8:45 p.m. Vardaman, accompanied by his wife Virginia, arrives in Laredo, Texas. Mrs. Vardaman usually stays home with her 6 children, but she decides to come along to witness the sighting of the rare white-collared seed eater, bird number 697. Another car rental. Another motel.
Well, I know where we are.
Another strategy session. Vardaman goes over the line of attack with local bird expert John Arvin.
And we're going to go to some agricultural fields and hedgerows and stuff along the river just a few miles south of there.
I never thought we'd find one.
I didn't either.
It is Arvin who spotted the white-collared seed eater and telephoned collect to Vardaman in Jackson, Mississippi. It's here. Are you sure? Yes. I'll be right there.
Well, let's just hope the dadgum things will have when we go tomorrow.
Shortly after dawn, James M. Vardaman and party drive down a dusty road in the valley of the Rio Grande. On the Mexican side of the river, some folks have more to worry about than white-collared seed eaters. And the other birds of the Rio Grande couldn't care less. Each has its own territory, its own problems of survival, its own purpose for flying, its own beauty. James Vardaman admires them all, but on this day, he only wants to see one, the white-collared seed eater.
What we're looking for looks like this right here. Only it's a little yellower than that shows. This shows it to be more brownish, and actually it's more yellowish.
Mrs. Vardaman wants to keep warm and keep up.
Well, let's he's on over here where he is.
Can you get that goggle burr off my foot? I got 2 of them. Well,
Vardaman has traveled 1,000 miles to sight bird number 697. He is calm. He is resolute. But the tension builds. The supreme moment that makes bird watching what it is, that indefinable instant of ecstasy that only a birder can know and perhaps understand. That time is at hand.
Yeah, all right.
Way to go, team! Come on now, we're going to try to show him to you. That's beautiful, you little bastard. Yes, you can delete that expletive, huh?
Point to me. There he is, there he is, there he is. He's in the top of the, see this wispy tree through there up against the sky? He's down from the top about 3 feet.
Yep, there he is. Facing to the left.
Right.
Ain't that a beautiful little bird?
Yep.
Well, this is one. I haven't given my eye teeth yet, but I might have. Come on here, seed eater.
Here he is.
White-collared seed eater.
Number 697, the white-collared seed eater, is history for James M. Vardaman.
December the 2nd.
It's back to Jackson to wait for the telephone to ring. Callers responding to his "Will You Help Me" newsletter. Is this professionally ethical?
I have an image of a professional bird watcher who goes out very carefully and researches on his own and sees a bird and admires it and makes a record of it, as opposed to Mr. Vardaman, who gets a phone call and is told, "We have a bird we can show you," and you jump on a plane and go there, and they say he's over there, and you look at him for 30 seconds and say, "Okay, I saw him," and you go home.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Well, A lot of the folks who criticize me for doing that do the same thing. I mean, when a rare bird shows up in North America, the word spreads through the ranks of birders like wildfire. And everybody who can get there, gets there. They wouldn't know about it, the bird being there, unless somebody told them. And the first question that anybody, my kind of birder or the other kind, says is, have you got the bird? Where is he? Well, there he is, right over there. Psst. Great. Now, I rush home because I'm running against the calendar. I don't have time to stand there and look at him as much as I'd like to.
We have a bird here that may well be, if it's authentic, the first
December 12th, 1:45 p.m., a call from Sacramento. A red-crested potsherd has been spotted.
God almighty.
But it may be an escaped bird, and only birds in their natural habitat may be counted. Vardaman checks with another bird expert on the East Coast.
Red-crested potsherd.
Forget it.
Poacher. No way.
I wouldn't walk 6 blocks for one.
Okay, Fred.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
2 p.m., Cape Cod calling. Kevin Powers, bird researcher, says a specially equipped charter plane is available the next day to fly out over the Atlantic and look for the great skua.
You ever read the story of General Eisenhower and D-Day in Europe? Doesn't this sound to you a little bit like it on a very tiny scale?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Vardaman, the birdwatcher, arrives at Logan International Airport in Boston after flights that have taken all night from Jackson, Mississippi. Another strategy meeting with the local contact, the pilot, the navigator.
If it wasn't found by here, then to go down to the edge of the shelf and look for foreign fishing fleets.
We all ready? Let's go then.
The plane is a 1943 twin-engine AT-11 used in World War II to train bombardiers, used in 1979 by a birdwatcher in the plastic bubble. December 13th, 10 a.m., Vardaman flies over the Atlantic south of Nantucket in search of the great skua.
But there's no doubt that the way to do it is to find the boats and we'll find the birds. All right, come on now, be there, big brown baby. We don't need but one.
But after 600 miles, more than 5 hours of checking the birds following 13 vessels, the great skua is nowhere to be found.
Not a damn one, huh?
It has eluded James M. Vardaman. It has happened before. It will happen again. It is a part of the ecstasy and the agony of birdwatching.
I set the goal, and I'm going to bust a gut to get there. I'm just going to go flat out, and if I make it, I make it. If I don't, I tried hard.
James Vardaman's 1979 American bird count stands this morning at 697. To fulfill the dream of his life, he needs 3 more birds. James Vardaman this morning is in a boat off the coast of Maryland, his heart beating fast. He is scanning the sky for a great skua and a yellow-nosed albatross. This afternoon, he will fly to Palm Beach, Florida, where he has a line on a stripe-headed tanager. Then tonight he's hopping a jet for Brownsville, Texas, where somebody has seen a golden-crowned warbler. James Vardaman is 3 birds short. He has 38 and a half hours to go.